In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the TI-8384 to calculate the equation of the line of best fit. Basically, we're going to use our calculator to do some of our analysis of our data. In the previous video, I've showed you that we are working with the density of water data that we collected in that activity. And I showed you what I expect your data table to look like and what I expect your graphs to look like. And we did an analysis just by measuring the slope of this line, the rise over the run, by just plugging in some values into the slope equation and then having us give it an answer that way. If we use our calculator, we can get the answer pretty quickly with a lot more information. For example, we can by calculating the slope, we're also going to get the y-intercept value here, and we will also get a correlation coefficient, the r-squared term, which tells us how well our data correlates. That's really we get a lot of information for just a few simple keystrokes. The first thing we need to do is to enter our data, and we'll go into the stat mode, and it automatically highlights this edit button right here, number 1. If we push it, then we go to the two lists that we're going to use. So my L1 list is going to be all the mass data readings, and the L2 list is going to be all my volume data readings. And so you just use your keypad to enter those. So 88.55 and 95.05, 114.85 and 119.15. Then we are going to use the arrow button here to go over to the next list and enter 15.5, 25.5, 35.5, and 45.5. And those are our readings. So now we want to do statistical analysis of this data. So we'll press stat once again. And this time we're going to use the arrow button to go over one where it says calc, and then we'll scroll down to linear regression. That's option number 4. And now you need to tell it which list to use, and you've got to get the order right. In this particular case, it is going to be, you specify L2, which I did by hitting the second and then 2, and then you need to enter a comma, L1. So it's looking at L2 and L1 to do the linear regression analysis on it, and then I hit enter. And then it gives me an equation of a line in the form of slope-intercept. It gives me the slope as 1.1, the y-intercept as 70, and here's my correlation coefficient of 0.93, which is pretty good. So now that information, you could use this. If we look back on our graph, that y-intercept of 70 came out to be pretty close to what we did by hand. And the slope, now you remember we calculated that as 1.02. The calculator said that it was 1.1. The calculator did a pretty good job of giving you a lot of information about that data with just a few keystrokes.